Hey folks, welcome on into another look at a Red Alert mod as part of the Red Alert anniversary celebrations. Today we're looking at a Red Alert 3 mod called the Red Alert. This mod is pretty interesting. It aims to try and recapture the original aesthetic of Red Alert 1, but using it in the Red Alert 3 engine. As you can imagine, there's a few challenges with that. But just to go through the ModDB page here quickly so you know what's going on. It was under development by mod team at CNC Labs, undertakes one of the most ambitious tasks in CNC modding to recreate and improve upon an original game. The mod in development is based on the original Red Alert's art and gameplay. It's not aiming to model realism, instead endeavours to bring the addictive, heart-pounding gameplay of the classic to a world-class 3D engine. To remake all the classic units, including those from Aftermath, and to recreate the very feel of its art style. With the Red Alert, the epic tank battles, MiG attack runs, and cruiser strikes will be more than just fun memories. They will be weapons in your arsenal once again. It was released back in September 21st, 2011, and was ranked the #1 mod on ModDB and critically acclaimed on other sites, with GameSpy calling it a Command and Conquer fan's dream come true. Interestingly, since then, GameSpy has been shut down. So if you're not familiar, if you're trying to play Red Alert 3 or some of the other later Red Alert titles online, you'll have to look into using CNC Online. It's a solution developed by, I think it's the Remora engine, but you'll be able to play online using that tooling. I'll leave a link below in the description for that as well. But yeah, as you can tell, this was a pretty ambitious project from the mod team at CNC Labs. They're basically setting out to try and recreate a lot of the original aesthetic and feel in the Red Alert 3 engine, and they've done, I would say, a pretty damn good job with this in terms of the little bit I've played of it so far. You can see a little glance here at some of the models. We'll hop into the gameplay now in a moment, but just before that, to go through a little bit in terms of actually getting this set up. It was a little bit finicky for me because the version of Red Alert 3 that I own is currently on Origin as part of the Ultimate Collection. So if you too have the Red Alert 3 Ultimate Collection Edition, this is going to be important for you. Currently the mod is up to version 1.2, so if you generally just have Red Alert and want to play it, go in here, install this, download the file, and it'll actually give you a .executable, and that .executable will install the mod into a specific folder in your document section or whatever. But if you want to get this running for the Origin collection, you need to take your shortcut for CNC Red Alert 3, go into properties, and you need to manually modify the target value here. So go to wherever your install location is, .exe, and the bit you need to add here is this -ui at the end. So that's the first thing. Once you've done that, you also need to make sure that you are able to successfully use the Red Alert 3 client with this command interface, which you can't do by default with the Ultimate Collection. In order to get access to this, you need to download a link, which I'll leave in the description below, to this, the CNC Ultimate Collection launchers. This will enable you to be able to successfully use command line arguments with your .executable. Without that, when you double click the Red Alert 3, it'll just skip the -ui stuff and not work. But once you do have it set up and running, once you've loaded up Red Alert 3 like this, you can go into the game browser section, go over to mods, and here you should see your install Red Alert version. Go into this, hit launch game, and then it will launch the game. It may take a couple of seconds depending on how quick your operating system and hardware is, but yeah, that's pretty much all you need to know to get set up and running with this game. Hopefully that is sort of helpful for you. We'll be taking a look today at the included factions and some of the models and stuff like that in this. There is no single player campaign added as part of the modification, unfortunately, and it does seem to be tied off with a bow, so I don't believe that they're actively continuing work on it at the moment. But they do have access to doing this via skirmishes and online, so by all means we'll be checking out some of that. There are 8 factions included that I've seen. On the Allies side we have France, UK, Germany, and Spain, and on the Soviet side we have Russia, Turkey, Greece, and Ukraine. So it'll definitely be interesting going through and checking that out. We'll probably do a couple of mixed matches. Not certain we'll get to see every single faction in this overview, just for the sake of time, but we'll definitely try out some 1v1s, some 2v2s, see how the AI difficulty holds up. We'll also be exploring the tech tree of the different factions, seeing what units they included. As I said in the ModDB description, they seem to include some Aftermath units too, so be on the lookout for things like Nikita subs and all that good stuff. Definitely excited to see what they opted to include, that's for sure. I have noticed so far, a little bit of time that I've played it, that they have some pretty interesting unit inclusions in it, and that they have done a good job at trying not to overload mechanics of Red Alert 3 on top of the original units, which is pretty cool, and not an easy task to achieve at all. So fair play to the team behind it, CNC Labs. Also worth pointing out that there is a section on their ModDB page where they seem to be linking to a Red Alert, the Red Alert 2. Now I'm not quite sure how active that is in terms of development and things like that at the moment, but it's worth noting. You can check it out on the ModDB page as well. But once you're into the game, here it is. They have their own custom splash screen and stuff like that. It's very nice. It's all pretty good. Let me just switch over briefly to it over here so you can see it properly. Nice. So we have, as I say, the campaign stuff isn't really built into this. It's only intended for versus, so you can go skirmishing online. Remember, to play online you need to have a C-on-C online account and to have that all registered and set up locally. I'll leave some guidelines for how to do that in the description below. But otherwise, we're going to be playing through some skirmishes. So let's go. There's a bunch of different maps that they include with this. The max size that they seem to have is for 6 players, so unfortunately there's no way to do a big 4v4 map as far as I'm aware, unless you download it outside of the external mod. It may be viable. It's not something I've looked into myself. But for the purposes of demonstration, I guess we'll first play as allies with a couple of our own allies, so to speak, against the Soviet AI and see how that kind of goes. So there is naval units added as well, so it might be nice to do a water map just to kick us off. We'll go with 2 allies, just so we can definitely win a match here. I'm not too sure how good or bad the AI actually will behave, so we gotta take this a little bit on the easier side. I am a little bit rusty. I haven't played Red Alert 3 since a couple years back now, so it's very cool to come back to it now, having played a lot of the TD and Ori remasters, and see just how much it feels like that. But yeah, we got 3 here. I guess we'll put ourselves here. 3, 4, 5. I guess these correspond to the position and the rank. I'm not actually too sure. Again, I haven't played these mods in a while. It must do, because I can only put down 5. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll go with who are the first allies? First allies are Spain. So we'll be Spain. We'll have Germany and the UK on our side. And as for the enemy, we will go with Ukraine. I believe that's the Ukraine symbol. And Greece. Ukraine. Wait a second. There we go, DK. So we got Spain, Germany. Just to make sure I have a good look at some of these. So we got, I'll play as Spain. We'll have Germany and we'll have UK. And then we'll also have Ukraine and Greece on the enemy side. Awesome. Computer opponent. Seems to be a couple of different settings you can put in here. Germany, optimal, Russia, turtle. We'll leave these on random. Keep it interesting, see how the AI behaves, keep an eye on them throughout the match. But yeah, let's kick off into a game. See how it goes. So straight away you can see all the cameos and stuff are pretty much from the original. With it being the Ori3 engine, you have the 3D view. It's pretty nice. They've modeled the structures and things in a very aesthetically pleasing way, so fair play. Definitely recognizable straight out the bat as something from the Red Alert universe.
Construction complete.
Get ourselves a barracks down, get an ore refinery. This will get a few riflemen. You can set rally points in your key structures. Here we got, this is artillery, right? Yeah, it says it on the bottom right there, so you got the artillery unit. If I move this briefly to the right, just so it doesn't cover up all that stuff for you guys. There we go. Nice.
Unit ready. Unit ready.
Defensive structures.
Building.
Because it's RA3, you can build your defensive structures alongside your primary structures. And I'll also just briefly go into the settings here. You can customize all this stuff yourself if you're curious about the ability of it. But I'm just going to knock down audio, the sound effects, and the voice just a little bit to make sure that it all sounds okay for you. But yeah, back into it.
Unit ready.
You can rotate your structures as you place them. Super useful for the likes of your defensive structures. For things like pillbox and stuff, doesn't matter as much. So you can see it here. You can rotate it. As far as I can tell, it might be more useful for your structures like your flame towers and things, I guess, in terms of how quickly it takes to move from the structure to the opponent. But here's an example of your harvester. You can rotate it. Down it goes. Now it's going to be facing the ore. It's one of the annoying problems having played it on the remaster is you tend to put down your refineries and it faces the opposite direction of the actual ore, right? It can be super annoying.
Vehicle reporting. Waiting order.
But yeah, so you can garrison structures as well, as you can see here. So they've kept that feature from RA3. They don't really want to, like, there's always challenges, right, when you're trying to recreate originals with an updated engine, so to speak. War factory. The other thing to note is they've kept unit queues, so unlike RA-TD originally, where you would just speed up your units when you build them, when you have multiple production facilities, you actually get the separate unit queues in this still. So if you've got multiple barracks, which I'll demonstrate in a second, you'll see that there'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can choose what units you're building out of each one, which can be interesting.
Waiting orders.
APC here would act as expected. You can see our allies meanwhile over here. They're doing their thing. They got their pillboxes down. It's pretty sweet. Looks like there's a whole circus here in the middle of this map. It's an interesting map. Interesting assets. So the war factory. Again, you got to be careful with your terrain. There is a build radius, which is what you're seeing with the dotted line here. So that's based around your con-yard, which you can pack up and move. So that is definitely a consideration as well. So here we have our chance to build some ore trucks, and then in traditional ally style, get some light tanks, maybe some medium tanks too. Get a second ore refinery, put one on this side. But yeah, it definitely feels very true to the original. The models and stuff look pretty cool.
Awaiting orders. Affirmative.
Allies doing a decent job. Getting to zoom in, look at the models a little bit. It's pretty satisfying. We'll be sure to build some of the naval stuff, but we'll probably hold off just a little bit on that.
Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Of course.
Construction complete.
Yes, sir.
Alright, get a second refinery down. Again, making sure to face it. The little pinpoint lets you know which way the harb's coming out, so it's useful. So that is pretty cool. What else we got? Yeah, I think we're all good on that side. Ally over here, meanwhile, is doing good. These are normal difficulty AIs. Looks like there's an oil tech derrick over here and a hospital here, so we'll see if we can get a couple of engineers maybe.
Insufficient funds.
Awaiting orders.
It'll be a little bit costly, but we'll see if we can get some out. We'll put the rally point for the racks over towards here. Get our advanced power down. We're running out of building space here, so I'm gonna have to move pretty quick. We'll get the radar dome first.
Unit ready. Insufficient funds.
Awaiting orders. Reporting. At once. Reporting.
APC unit looks pretty good. Light tank unit again.
Vehicle reporting.
Or medium. This is the medium tank unit. Huh.
Yes, sir.
Interesting. Cool to see the way that they're hopping over the different level terrain there as well, going up and down. Radar dome. It's a pretty signature looking building. You need to get this right for Red Alert, and I think they have here. As you can see, looks pretty cool. So yeah, let's unpack up our con-yard and move it over. Even the base MCV model is very nice looking. You can see it moving by the advanced power plants here.
Funds.
Vehicle reporting.
Pretty cool.
At once. Ready and waiting.
Here we have some light tank action going
Unit
on.
ready.
It looks like the enemy here is either cloaked or getting killed. We can see some of the Soviet structures here.
Ready and waiting.
Our engineers will get these to capture the hospital and the tech
Unit
derrick.
ready. Structure captured.
Yes, sir.
So here are the light tanks.
Structure captured.
We'll bring these up next to our medium
Of
tanks so you
course.
can compare the two
Vehicle
together.
reporting.
We'll want to move our conyard up
Unit
towards around
ready.
here.
Very
It's
well.
probably good. Some open space, I think. Hopefully these shrubs
Yes,
and
sir.
things won't be in the way. You can unpack with this. We'll get them down.
New construction options.
But yeah, here you can see the
Unit
light tanks next to the medium tanks.
Vehicle reporting.
Looks pretty good from an aesthetic point of view.
ready.
Tech center next up.
Yes, sir. Agreed.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready.
At once.
Then after the tech center, we'll get a naval yard. Water always looked really nice in Red Alert 3, but it's always cool coming back to it, seeing how it's appearing. We get AA guns just so we can see how that looks. See our allies here giving the Soviet heavy tanks a bit of a rough time. Do like the model there of the Soviet heavy tanks. It's pretty nice. So we've got our tech center down.
Construction
You
complete.
can build a chrono tank now.
On hold. Cancel.
Seems good. We also get our naval yard.
Reporting.
While our armies are doing alright here. I think like we've got pretty good control of the map at this stage. I don't think the AI is really posing a huge threat on this difficulty,
Construction complete.
which is nice just to give us an opportunity to show off some of these structures and units in a more calm setting. We might get into some more harder matchups later.
Construction options.
But there's our naval yard. And here we can see you can build transport ships, a gunboat, destroyer, and a cruiser. They're kind of the signature ORA vessels here for the Allies. Mine layer, MCV, missile silo. You can build a demo truck.
Unit ready.
So in order to do that,
Yes, sir.
we need to get.
Unit ready.
What was the requirement for it? We need to get a missile silo, which is down under the defensive structures here.
Vehicle reporting.
We want to get some more power up.
Objective met. Building. Unable to comply.
Chronosphere and missile
Building
silo
unit ready.
still have to be obtained. Objective met indicates that
Construction complete.
we seem to have killed the AI, or rather the AI has gone off and killed the AI in a very straightforward manner. This seems to be their last structure, but we've gotten a nice idea for the units. There's the gunboat,
Vehicle reporting.
there's the destroyer.
well.
You can see them both able to fire on land as well.
Vehicle reporting.
They've got some nice aesthetics in terms of the water and how it's actually going to appear. Then that just leaves the chronosphere, the missile silo, and the cruiser. Cruiser is known in ORA spheres to
ready.
be a bit of a pain in the ass to deal with,
Agreed.
balance-wise, because you can shoot further inland than the other structures usually,
Acknowledged. Very well.
or not.
Agreed.
Interestingly, it won't let me fire it on ground. It has to be on a structure. But there you can see it fires off its shots pretty effectively,
Waiting orders.
which is cool. Chronosphere. You can take a quick look at the model here. Pretty nice, pretty round. You can see on the left side of the screen it shows up the abilities. It's pretty cool. It charges up over time. Matter transport target units to any other point in the field. Deadly to infantry. So nice that they kept that effect to it. Looks like the enemy here is pushing into our ally on the left.
Vehicle
Here's the chrono tank. Has the ability here, chrono shift. Teleports the target
Agreed.
anywhere on the map. So, for example, if I wanted to bring him here, there he is, popping in. He's coming into the action. It is, it's cool seeing these models in a 3D fashion, trying to fight it out. Get our power down. Get our missile silo down.
Construction options.
More power.
Building.
As you can see, our atom bomb there on the left hand side. Again, looks like the original cameo sprites they're using for it too, or very similar to it.
Construction.
Obliterate your enemies in a nuclear warhead detonation? Devastation. Same difference.
Awaiting orders. Acknowledged.
But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Awaiting
As I
orders.
say, it remains very faithful to
Ready
the
and
original
waiting.
game in terms of what it's trying to set out. Really like the radar dome aesthetic. It's something that's very key to the original
Ready
Red
and
Alert
waiting.
games. You see that dome, you know exactly where you're at. Again, you can rotate these structures too, so if you're having issues with your pathfinding or whatever, you can optimize it a little bit using that. Cool to include the logos and the shading. The Allied Tech Center, of course, is here too. You can see the dark side of the back now because of the positioning. It's pretty cool.
Lost.
Get
Building.
some artillery, mobile gap generator, and a demo truck. I mean, we've seen artillery already, so I guess we'll go straight for the mobile gap generator. We have access to Tanya.
Training.
Get one of her on the field.
Unit ready.
Here's the mobile gap generator. You can see the sphere that it hides from the opponent. It's a pretty interesting effect to have on the actual screen to indicate that section.
Construction complete.
Ready and waiting.
There's an enemy spy. The unit's just not attacking it. Cool, cool. So it just shows up as that kind of cloaked figure rather than something that's trying to
Construction options.
hide itself as one of your units. It's an interesting decision. Here's Tanya doing her thing. She can go into buildings. Not sure if she can detonate. It doesn't seem to give me the ability to... Like, she can target units, but it doesn't seem like she has C4 ability. We'll try it on the ally here. We'll force fire it and see if she actually uses a C4, or if she'll just shoot it with her gun. Tanya, of course, being known in the originals to do C4. It looks like she's going in for a bomb. Nice. And she does get it. Okay. It's just that it doesn't give you a differential icon for it, but she does still have the ability to blow the crap out of your opponent, which is nice. Also worth noting the contextual tab here.
I'm there.
Gives you access to all the different units that you currently have on the map. It's a nice quality of life feature. I believe it's in the base or a tree.
Ready and waiting.
And with that I can select all my units and tell them to go to one
Ready
location.
and waiting.
We'll send this demo truck, we'll send it into our ally here just to see how effective it actually is. Poor ally is going to take one for the team here, but that's fine.
Waiting orders. At once. At once.
We'll use it against the Conyard just to suss out how much damage it'll actually do, and then the advanced power plant and the refinery here should take heavy damages as well.
Acknowledged.
So we go like this.
Yes, sir. As you wish.
Ooh, some cool screen shakes, like the explosion effect and the debris. So it actually took out the refinery and the advanced power plant. Took the MCV to half health too. That's very effective. We now have access to the chrono shift.
Select target.
Looks like I can only select one target with this. And we'll check out the nuke in the next one. The chrono shift looks like you can only select a single target. So that's worth noting. But that was it. That was an interesting look. You can see it has the status effects here in terms of the game scoring, and all that good stuff. So that's pretty cool. We'll do... I don't mind the disconnect notification. That's fine. We'll continue here. I guess we'll switch it around next. We'll have a look at some of the Soviets in a bit more detail instead. Where are we going to go? Burnt Out Paradise? Sure. This looks good. We'll be on the bottom left side of the map. We'll put our allies on the top right. And this time, how about we play as Ukraine ourselves? And we'll rock up with Russia and Turkey. There's Turkey and Russia. Turkey and Russia. Turkey, Russia, Soviets, yeah. And the enemy is going to be allies. We haven't seen France yet. And we also haven't seen... we'll see the AI play as Spain, I guess. 111, 2-2. We'll add one more enemy since this is a 6-player map. I guess for the allies, we'll put in Germany. Seems to be good. I think we're good to go here. Actually, I think I'll play as the Soviets this time, and we'll have Ukraine on the enemy team, or on as the ally. 4, 5, 6. Cool. And we'll go into it. See how things look on this side. So this time playing as the Soviets.
Building.
Yes, sir.
Immediately starting structure, starting infantry units. We get a couple of the heavy tanks. We get a V2 rocket. Again, very similar cameos, like the rocket effects straight out the gate. Looks pretty nice. We get the power plants down. Get a racks down.
Awaiting orders. Affirmative. Ready and waiting.
This is a observation post, so I'm guessing it gives us vision.
Cannot deploy here.
I'll put that here.
Options. Building.
This here.
Training.
So it definitely feels a lot like,
Yes, sir.
or captures a lot of the feel of the original Red Alert game, to be honest. It's pretty cool. Obviously, like the 3D engine and stuff, it's not going to be exactly the same, but they're definitely done a decent job in terms of what they're looking to achieve with this.
Building.
Where's their ore? Ore's here and here. That observation post gives huge vision. Wow.
Training.
It's pretty cool.
Construction complete.
Flame tower, just so you can see what that looks like. And again, you can adjust it for aesthetic reasons mostly, I
Unit
imagine.
ready.
I don't think it's going to matter a
Construction
huge amount in terms of
Building.
firing at an enemy, but we can test it with 2 of them and see if we can target them at the same location and see if one shoots quicker than the other, I suppose. I suspect it's not going to make a huge difference, but it's always interesting to try these things out. Again, just to re-emphasize, you need to be within the standard build radius here to be able to do some
Training.
construction.
The base is under attack.
Interestingly, you can see that these are
Yes, sir.
Unit
Very well.
ready.
shooting more or less the same. They don't actually rotate to hit the opponent, so it makes no difference what way they're facing. But it's useful to know.
Unit ready.
More factory about to be done.
Unable to comply.
Oh, come
Building in
on.
progress.
Don't know why I've queued so many engineers by
Construction
mistake.
complete.
Here's our war factory. Want to get your
Building.
eco set
Structure
up.
captured.
Seems good. Want to get power. Tesla coils, again a classic in the franchise. We'll have to build one of those, see how it looks.
Ready and waiting.
V2 up on the ledge. There's a hospital over
Construction
here.
complete.
I'm gonna have the engineers, may as well capture it. Get the advanced power down. Probably gonna get a second refinery before I get the eco.
Unit ready.
Cool that they demonstrate the trucks actually filling up with ore, I guess. They have different states based on how full they are. In the original, it was just kind of your harvester either has resources or doesn't. That's a nice touch. This will knock us low power, but just so you can see how it appears.
Construction options. Insufficient funds.
Pretty cool. Looks pretty much as you would expect.
Structure captured.
So these are like take position, this is strike target, this is
Unit
plan
ready.
attack, this is keep command. So useful. In danger, in
Construction
combat.
Building.
Get
Insufficient
ourselves.
funds.
I guess we need power first, and then we get the radar down.
Awaiting orders.
We'll send him on this side.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Cancel.
We can build Tesla tanks to this faction, so we'll get a few of those going.
Construction complete.
Alright, so you can use that tooltip on the top left to give you an indication on how your allies are doing. That's a very useful mechanic. Radar no. I'm gonna see the Tesla tanks come out here. Traditionally, they're like tanks that have a bulb on the back. So definitely curious to see how they look.
Unit ready.
Waiting
Yeah,
order.
it's pretty much as I would expect. It looks almost identical to the appearance in the remaster.
Yes, sir. Agreed.
Construction complete.
Vehicle reporting. Of course.
So it's cool to see. There's the radar dome structure once again.
Options.
Helipad, airstrip.
Building.
We'll get some airstrips, see how that looks. We'll probably move our Conyard. We'll have to move it closer to the water to be able to build on it.
Construction complete. Unit ready.
We'll get ourselves an airfield and a helipad. Have a look at some of that. So we should get a yak and a MiG, which we do. 800, 1200. You can only have one per pad, which makes sense, just like the original.
Waiting orders. Of course.
Tech center needed for these. You can build mod tanks. Again, they're from the expansions of Red Alert. You can build shock troopers as the Soviets. Soviet Russia. A helipad to get a second airfield. A helipad comes with the Hind. Interesting. Has 10 pips of
As you wish.
ammo. Guessing it's going to be machine based.
Unit ready.
Very well.
Yeah, so it's a machine gun based attack, not rocket. There's your Tesla unit. I don't think that these will power up the Tesla coil, but we're checking.
Unit
Doesn't
ready.
appear to do anything, which is fair enough. Here you can see the alternate build tabs. So when you've got different structures, this one can only have one unit on it at a time, so you have to switch over to here. We have the yak, so we'll get the MiG. Defensive structures. We want to be getting ourselves a tech center, and then we'll move the Conyard across the
Waiting
water
orders.
after probably getting some power. This guy's doing a good job of keeping the AI distracted. They don't quite know how to deal with this.
Units
Pretty nice. Meanwhile, our AI ally is doing a decent job over here.
building.
We're staying alive, attacking the enemy, being a little bit aggressive.
Construction complete.
Okay, here's the tech center about to go down. If I can find space. Space seems to be a big problem
Deploy here.
that I'm currently having, which is a little bit unusual,
Unit ready.
but that's okay. I think if I move over here, we'll be in a better position.
Awaiting orders. Awaiting orders.
We have a MiG here. I guess we'll send it off, see what damage it does against the opponent here. We've got a little bit of an encounter here, but we seem to have it under control. MiG's about to come in. I guess we're going to change target at the last second to this. That does decent damage. Cool to see it jump in, do its standard fire, and then move on.
Awaiting orders.
MCV, redeploy, go here. Interesting little drift. We want to get power set up, and then we'll get the naval yard followed by super weapons, Iron Curtain and the missile silo. So Iron Curtain, be curious if this is just for one or multiple. As the Chronosphere looked like it was only for one, I think the Iron Curtain should also only be for one.
Building.
But we'll see how that actually goes.
Awaiting orders.
Meanwhile, you want to keep making sure we're building.
Building. Construction complete. On hold.
Get a couple of mammoth tanks, you know, for good old times. Get a sub pen for the Soviets.
Reconstruction options.
It's a pretty cool look. They actually went and made like the full 3D effect of this, so it's further down. I do like the stone effect at the top as well. It's a really nice job. So they got submarines and the missile submarines, okay, the Nikitas from the original ORA. It's very cool.
Awaiting orders.
Boys here doing some damage.
Construction complete.
Alright, so the Iron Curtain.
Unit
I'm gonna drop
ready.
that down here.
Building.
Very
Unit
cool build
ready.
animation, like the ball popping up at the top. And then we'll get the missile silo going as well. Allies are definitely having a cheeky poke at the AI here. But all in all, it feels pretty good.
Ready and waiting. Very well. Acknowledged.
Very interesting to see this. As I say, I haven't played Red Alert 3, the base game, in quite a while. So it's definitely different seeing how it handles here. Again, the faction here gets access to demo trucks out the gate as well. Yak doing some damage, but not heavy damages here. You wouldn't expect it to do heavy damages against structures anyway, so that's totally reasonable. Here's the Mammoth tank model. Looks pretty damn good. Definitely impressed with that. You've got the rocket barrels on the either side. You've got the primary double barrels in the front. It's looking pretty good. And then here we can get our silo down. Can I build these here? I don't think I could build these here. I guess it does let you build next to your structures outside of the build radius once you have something down. Or it might just be because it's a defensive structure. We'll have to test that now.
Awaiting orders.
Construction complete.
Yeah, so I can still build. You can see somewhat of a radius around here. So it seems once you have a structure down, you can build next to it. I guess you just can't build off these civilian tech structures without moving your conyard next to them. Which I can kind of understand. Huh, that's interesting. It's a bit unexpected behavior, but we'll take it. I can build flame troopers. Again, a classic for ORA. We have access to
unit ready.
Paratroopers. Not quite sure at what point we unlocked that, but alright, can we drop them in here? No, we can't. We can only drop them on sections of the map we have direct vision of. Okay. Seems reasonable. We have spy plane though. Should have probably used that and then the paratroopers next to it. But there's the paratroopers coming on in. The boys. With 5 minigunners, rifle soldiers. And there's our spy plane. He's going to be doing a zoom by. There it is. It's pretty cool. We also have power bombs.
Unit lost.
And vulnerability still charging, as is the nuke. Power bombs will do on, I guess the war factory is a good litmus test. Generally speaking, you wouldn't expect power bombs or something like that to take out a conyard, but they might take out a weapons factory. Very close. Again, the aesthetics of it look pretty damn cool. Build up some more tanks.
Vehicle reporting.
Yes, I'll build a second war factory so you can see the multiple build queues, although you can see it already here with the airfield, the airpad. It would be very similar here in terms of the actual subs. Nice that you're able to have separate subs and unit queues. I believe that isn't the case for the likes of Ori Remastered. It's nice to be able to just separate those concerns.
Yes, sir. Agreed.
Nice.
Vehicle reporting.
Unit ready.
There's a long wind up on those super weapons, I will say. It seems to be a huge amount of time.
Construction complete.
Yeah, so if we got our second war factory here, for example, you can now see we've got 2 build queues. Got one building heavy tanks, and then we're going to have this one building, I guess, Tesla tanks. I guess we'll build a mad tank just to show that off. Maybe we'll send it into one of our allies is the easiest way to definitely get it to
Awaiting orders.
to fire.
Of course. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Yes, sir. Awaiting orders.
Yeah, he better run. Do do do.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Bum bum bum. Anything else we need to see? We've seen all the infantry. Seen SAM side. I guess we can get a model down just to have a quick look at it. Demo truck we've seen before. Mine layer. I guess a mine layer might be nice to look at. We get a service depot up.
Building.
We can halt the tank production for the moment.
Cancel.
I guess we can get
Building.
one mad tank, but
Insufficient
we
funds.
can halt all the rest
Cancel.
of it. Spy planes ready again. There is fog of war on this. I guess that's worth pointing out too.
Unit
It's not
ready.
something that's necessarily from the original games. Usually when you scout a map and you have vision, you just maintain it.
Construction complete. Iron curtain ready. Insufficient funds.
Yeah, my iron curtain appears to be ready. So here's a SAM site going down. Very similar to the traditional models from ORA.
Awaiting orders.
We seem to have the iron curtain ready, so I might use this and just attack a little bit into the enemy.
Affirmative.
On the bottom left here as well, we can
Construction
see
complete.
the super weapons of our allies. Nuclear missile medium, or our enemies, I guess, whoever actually happens to have them. Service depot,
Cannot deploy.
slap that down
Construction
here.
options.
Then after the mad tank we get a mine layer as well. But here's our invulnerability, so again we can only seem to use it on a single unit.
Yes, sir.
There's no way to like tighten up your units together to get multi. Oh, you can get two, okay.
Awaiting orders.
It seems like there's like a small area of effect depending on how you do it, so you might get up to 2 units,
Insufficient
up to
orders.
3 even.
Vehicle reporting.
So then you get all those and rush them into the
Very
enemy.
well. Yes, sir.
Paratroopers.
Waiting order. Of course.
Unit lost.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Insufficient
Ready and
funds.
waiting. Acknowledged. As you will. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Agreed. Of course. Reporting. Acknowledged.
I'm not quite sure what that
Ready and
formation
waiting. Agreed.
shortcut
As you
is.
wish.
I'm guessing it's a built-in prereq that ORA 3 has. As I say, it's been quite a while since I played the base ORA 3 game, but it's cool that it seems to have some functionality for that. Also have Chinooks. Guess we could build one of those just to show it off a
Unit
bit.
ready.
Ready and waiting.
Here's the
Affirmative, yes,
mad
sir.
tank.
Affirmative. Agreed.
We'll put it in here next to the Allies' Conyard
Yes, sir.
and see how it does. Meanwhile, we have enemy over here. I guess we'll use the A-bomb on their Conyard,
Select target.
see what damage it does. Nice that you get vision of it too with the flare.
Unit lost.
Pretty devastating to absolutely everything around it, but the A-bomb itself not super impactful. Cute little turret here as well.
Reporting. Acknowledged.
That's pretty cool.
Of course.
I guess we'll try polish off the enemies here. We can use our subs, I guess. Try go around the back of the enemy's base here. Give them their own little hotkey, so we can check in on them by the time they make their way up and around.
Very well.
Meanwhile, our mad tank is moving at the speed of slow over here.
Awaiting orders. Acknowledged. Waiting orders. Reporting. Of course. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Reporting. Waiting orders. Very well. Agreed. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. At once. Very well. Waiting
Yeah, targeting
orders.
seems a bit weird. It's not letting
Yes,
me
sir.
target certain structures here,
Affirmative.
but it is letting me target others. I'm not quite sure what that's about, like these power plants I can't target.
As you wish. Agreed. Acknowledged. Very well. Agreed. Very well. Acknowledged.
I can force fire them though.
Ready and waiting.
I'm guessing it might be some logic to do with the gap generator here. They're technically invisible.
Affirmative.
Yeah, that's it exactly. Oh, and we're going to have enough time for our
Waiting orders.
Navy boys to come in here, do some damage. You can see the Nikita subs, the missile subs coming up. Kicking ass. I wonder if these can actually shoot on land.
As you wish.
I think they can. Yeah, and they're gonna do hella damage.
Affirmative.
It's awesome.
Awaiting orders.
Meanwhile, we get the normal subs here to clean up the boats.
Yes, sir. Agreed. Very well. Ready and waiting.
Very cool.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Our mad tank, meanwhile, is deployed over here. I guess we'll get him to do his thing.
At once.
He's right next to the Conyard here, so we'll see just how much stuff he actually manages to take out. Whoops.
Cannot deploy here.
Why not?
Cannot deploy here.
Cannot deploy here.
Cannot deploy here. Cannot deploy here.
Why not? Does it need the full...
Agreed. Affirmative.
Not quite sure why... Oh, there we go. I'm not quite sure what is required here in terms of the deploy, but let's see what damage it does. Wow, that's pretty far reaching. It did like... like what, half to a quarter damage to absolutely everything in the base? That's always the catch with mad tanks though. It can be difficult to get them positioned within the enemy's actual bases. So by the time they do tend to come up, it can be too late.
Awaiting orders.
We should send the boats on in the water while these guys finish off the AI, but I think we got all this AI stuff.
Agreed. Affirmative.
Ready.
Agreed.
Don't think we missed anything. So we'll move on to the next one.
Yes, sir.
Send the boats in around the back.
Very well.
Looks like the AI in the back didn't actually build a navy. It's too far from the water, I suppose.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Awaiting orders.
The
Affirmative.
boys here are having a hard time trying to work themselves around.
Affirmative. Vehicle reporting.
Come on, boys. Up you get. Can you set hotkeys to these? So you can set hotkeys to your production facilities in this. At least to one of them, anyway.
Yes, sir.
Unit
This
ready.
V2's having a rough time trying to find his way.
Affirmative. Ready and waiting.
Looks like our AI is deciding to join us with this attack.
Unit lost.
Ready and waiting. Agreed.
It's pretty cool.
Yes, sir. At once. Affirmative.
We'll start setting the rally points for this stuff into the enemy's base.
Awaiting orders. Agreed.
Unit
Awaiting
ready.
orders. Very well.
Yeah, let's go. Come on, ally.
Ready and waiting.
Do you like the dark color aesthetic for those units as well? It's pretty nice.
Ready and waiting.
Insufficient force.
Explosion effects and the particle effects, again, pretty nice looking.
Awaiting orders.
Nothing like it all feels really nice. It feels like it blends into the engine well. It feels like it's an appropriate level of nostalgia versus the
Yes, sir.
you know, the enhancements that Red Alert 3 enables by default out of the box, without going too overboard.
Select
Get your invulnerable tank going again. I'm not quite sure why I have vision inside of my enemy's bases. I'm guessing it's to do with spies that my allies might have potentially used. But I'm definitely not sure.
Select target. Unit ready.
I'm not quite sure why
Select target.
I mean, I can do a power drop in here,
Select
but I can't do paratroopers. Maybe it's a range thing? Because I
insufficient.
definitely have vision of it.
Yes, sir. As you wish. Awaiting orders. Yes, sir. Very well.
It's pretty cool, not gonna lie.
Waiting order.
Very satisfying.
And waiting. Waiting orders.
Alright, so that AI is dead.
Waiting
Which
order.
leaves us with this
Agreed.
one.
Reporting. Of course.
And our submarines will take it from the sea.
Affirmative. Waiting order. At once. Ready and waiting. Very well.
Insufficient funds.
Waiting order. Of course. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
All the boys are coming in now.
Awaiting orders. Waiting orders. orders.
Nice.
Reporting. As you wish. Yes, sir.
Insufficient funds.
Ready and waiting. Acknowledged. Ready and waiting.
The missile subs being able to shoot up over the cliffs is pretty cool.
Waiting orders. Yes, sir. Agreed.
Nice.
Awaiting orders.
Is that it?
Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Yeah, I guess he must have missed one unit up here or something.
Waiting order. Affirmative.
AI seems to be on it.
Funds.
Ready and waiting. Affirmative.
But what is it? Oh, it's this. Ah. There's always one. If it's on a harvester, it's a silo or something. Nice. GG's. So that was a look at the Soviets. You can see how the ranking kind of goes here. I'm not having to try too hard with this demo stuff, just so it's, you know, it's a good opportunity to look through the different units and how the tech tree plays out. But we've seen both the Allied side and the Soviet side here. Alright, next up we'll just do a 1v1 against the enemy on the Discord shape map. I'll pop on the bottom left, he'll be bottom right. We'll set him to the turtle AI behavior and see how he behaves. We'll crank up the initial resources to 40,000, turn on random bonus crates. There's not a huge amount of the rules that we can change, but we'll see how this goes. Be interesting, 1v1. I have to be careful and make sure I'm actually building
Very well.
correctly.
Vehicle reporting.
Construction complete.
Okay, power plant,
Construction options.
barracks.
Ready and waiting. Yes, sir.
Construction
Waiting orders.
complete. Construction
Get a
options.
refinery down. Probably get 2 refineries. Get 1 refinery, a war factory. Build some harvesters, get the 2nd refinery. Seems like the way to do it.
On hold. Cancel. Training.
I think there's a couple of
Ready and waiting. Affirmative. Awaiting orders.
oil derricks I can capture on this map
Unit
towards the top.
Awaiting orders.
So we will check those out.
Vehicle reporting. Yes,
Unit
sir.
ready.
Awaiting orders.
Oil refinery's done.
Construction complete. Cannot deploy. Unit ready. Construction options. Unit
Nice.
ready.
Get the war factory.
Reporting.
Unit ready.
Awaiting orders.
Unit
Yes, sir.
ready.
Affirmative.
We'll keep some infantry up with the oil derricks that we capture so
ready.
that they don't capture them back.
Ready and
Unit
waiting.
ready.
At once. Awaiting orders. Reporting. Very well.
Alright, so far so good.
Ready and waiting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Awaiting orders. Of course. Agreed. Affirmative.
Okay, let's go
Of course.
radar type building here.
Agreed.
Construction complete.
Here's our war factory.
Construction options. Building.
2 of these, and I usually tend to spam medium tanks when I'm playing the allies. Get a 2nd ore refinery down over here.
Yes, sir.
Here we go.
Affirmative. Ready and waiting.
Evacuate passengers. Get
Yes,
1
sir.
engineer here, 1 engineer here.
Reporting. At once.
Unit
Yes, sir.
Send these
Center
2
under attack.
Affirmative.
over to here.
Unit ready.
Reporting. Of course.
Training.
Get a few of these.
Unit ready.
Harvesters are coming.
Unit ready.
It's good. It's good.
Unit
Ready and waiting.
Unit ready. Complete. Unit ready.
Where'd
Awaiting
I?
orders.
Here
Ready
it
and
is.
waiting. At once.
Get him across the way. Capture that
Unit
stuff.
ready.
This is good. I want to get power and get a 2nd war factory up so I can build tanks faster.
Vehicle reporting.
Get this guy in this ore.
Construction complete.
Okay, it's the advanced power plant. Get a second war factory up.
Reporting. Yes, sir. Reporting.
So far so good.
Yes, sir.
Not a
Reporting.
huge amount of problems.
Ready and waiting.
Unit
Yes,
ready.
sir. Affirmative.
We'll get one guy garrison. We may as well put one guy in each of these, right? Then we can try and draw the enemy into them if we need to. Unit
Yes,
lost. Oh shit, he came over here. Huh.
Unit ready.
Pesky AI. That's fine, that's fine. If that's what he wants to do, that's what he wants to do.
Cannot deploy here. Unit ready. Building.
We'll get a few rangers and light tanks as well, I guess, just to complement the setup. Radar dome, definitely need that.
Reporting. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
See the AIs over here.
Reporting.
Unit
See
ready.
them baiting him back into
Ready and waiting.
the land. These ranger models are interesting. There's no no infantry in them, so it's just like an empty piloted ranger
Construction complete.
with a speedy turret on it.
Agreed.
Radar dome.
Unit ready.
Again, that classic building. Tech center next.
Unit ready.
I guess we'll get some AA guns, although I probably don't need them. AI is set to be bunkering, and they're not really being super offensive.
Unit ready.
Yeah.
Unit ready.
Vehicle reporting.
Keep getting tanks up over here. We're looking good, we're looking good.
Construction unit complete. Ready. Unit
Tech center is
ready.
ready. Awesome.
Construction options.
Helipad, we don't really want Hines.
Building.
Naval yard for a couple of cruisers could be good. I guess
On hold.
some chrono
Unit
tanks would be
ready.
kind of
Ready.
nice too.
Cancel.
Can build more than one in this
Construction
mod, and they are usually pretty effective weapons. Not sure how they balanced it with this mod.
Construction options. Unit ready. Low power.
Get a couple of
Building.
cruisers going. Get more advanced power. But yeah, with a bunker AI like this, like you can see, it's fairly straightforward for me to just kind of sit back and do whatever. Like the AI doesn't appear overly challenging in this mod, which is fine.
Reporting.
Remember, this is a hard AI. They are set to bunker, so
Complete. Unit ready.
some of that is definitely due to this. But they probably have a lot of like Teslas and stuff in their base.
Unit lost. Building.
There we go.
Waiting orders. Agreed. Ready and waiting.
It's like, are they just going to try and like occupy every one of these buildings? Because if they are, I'm just going to take them all
Very
out. Could use some anti-air
waiting orders. Agreed. Agreed.
to go alongside the
Waiting orders.
main army here. So I'll build a few rocket men. Don't really see an anti-air tank
Sir. Acknowledged. Ready and waiting.
or option in here. Anti-infantry, anti-ground, long-range artillery, anti-ground, anti-ground, and anti-air. I guess Chrono does anti-air, so there's that at least.
Very well. Reporting.
Where are we at? We're over here.
Unit ready.
Reporting. Agreed.
Unit
There's a
ready.
veterancy crate here, so the crates on the ground actually do show you what they give. That's really nice. See, it's not just a big guessing game. You have to be like, oh, well, do I need?
Very well.
Unit ready.
If I'm gonna pick up this crate, am I just gonna get some lucky dip kind of situation? You know,
Have one.
Ready.
Acknowledged.
there's a lot of dogs over here from the AI.
Vehicle reporting.
Unit ready.
Reporting. Yes, sir.
I mean, it's fun. I just do this F and then go
Unit
here,
ready.
right? Or you press F and you have to left click to use the ability. I see how it is.
Reporting. Waiting orders.
Looks pretty cool, like the chrono shift effect.
On hold.
We didn't actually seen the chronosphere be actually used earlier. I think we got killed before we were able to demonstrate it. But I imagine it'll be exactly like the chrono tank there. Are we still building units?
Cancel.
Uh,
Building.
don't think we were still building it. It's very delayed. Here's the cruisers coming on in,
Agreed.
so we can get these across on the
Unit
bottom.
ready. Our base
sir.
is under attack.
What?
Unit ready. Repairing.
What's hitting this? Is it Nikitas? Like missile subs from the water, maybe?
On hold. Cancel. Unit ready. Unit ready.
Reporting. Reporting. Very well. Yes, sir.
Construction complete.
At once.
So we have the chronosphere up.
Unit
Get the promotion. Someone get the promotion.
Agreed.
There we go.
Reporting. Ready and waiting. Affirmative. Awaiting orders.
So we got him by land, we got him by sea.
Ready and waiting. Awaiting orders. Awaiting orders. Yes, sir.
Unit ready.
Agreed. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Reporting. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Reporting.
Looks like there's a capturable observation post over here.
Awaiting orders.
So if there's a big naval battle breaking out, you'll be able to keep an eye on your opponent with it. Chrono tanks taking out all the air units of the opponent. It's pretty nice. One less thing I need to worry about.
Unit
Meanwhile, the cruisers here coming all the way around.
Unit
Reporting.
ready.
Ready and waiting.
Unit
Of course.
ready.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
I think we're going for an attack here.
Of course.
We'll see how well prepped the enemy is.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir. Agreed.
Insufficient funds.
Cruiser's gonna try to get the naval.
Reporting. Affirmative.
So they're gonna have an idea I'm on my
Awaiting
way.
orders. Of course. Reporting.
You can see a lot of flame towers coming here from the opponent. Wow. A few Tesla coils here in the back too.
Yes, sir. Awaiting orders. Vehicle reporting. Awaiting orders. Awaiting orders. Awaiting orders. Yes, sir.
Have these zap in right beside the Teslas. Get some damage done.
Ready and waiting. Acknowledged. Reporting.
Not the cleanest attack, that's for
Awaiting
sure.
orders.
Insufficient
Of course.
funds.
Ready and waiting. Yes, sir. Very well. Awaiting orders. Agreed.
We're gonna get his war factory. We are.
Ready.
It looks like that's about all we're gonna get.
Yes, sir. Agreed.
We want to bring all of our units up pretty close. Took out most of their defenses there, it looks like.
Awaiting orders.
Still have some loose
Awaiting
units.
orders.
Unit
Very
ready.
well. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Of course.
Insufficient funds.
Ready and waiting.
Insufficient funds.
Yes, sir.
They're using their. They do have some subs here, so it's cool to see that the AI is actually building some naval units.
Ready and waiting.
Unit ready. Lost.
Yes, sir. As you wish.
Insufficient
Ready and waiting.
Unit lost.
Vehicle reporting. Very well. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Ready and waiting. Awaiting orders. Yes, sir. Agreed. Ready and waiting. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir.
Insufficient funds.
Very well.
Okay, if I come in here, will I be able to take out his Conyers? That would be pretty damn nice. If he could not rebuild all of his defenses, that would
Yes,
be
sir.
super.
Ready and waiting.
Looks like he's redeploying it,
Awaiting orders. As you wish.
and we got it.
Awaiting orders.
So we can't build tanks. Looks like he's going to be down to just infantry and air.
Reporting. Awaiting orders. Yes, sir. Vehicle reporting. Ready and waiting. Awaiting
Chrono
orders.
tank here is ready. Do it.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Agreed.
I guess we can sell our Conyers. Sell our Chrono shifts. just to get some cash flow
Yes,
going.
sir. Awaiting orders.
Come in here. You can take out the helipads. Actually, we take out the barracks to be the end of infantry. But I think we've pretty much done it.
Unit insufficient funds.
Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Very well. Acknowledged. Ready and waiting. Of course. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting.
Insufficient
Awaiting
funds.
orders. As you please.
On hold. Cancel.
Vehicle reporting. Affirmative.
Forgot I had the cruisers still
Unit
building.
Ready.
Vehicle
Unit
reporting.
ready.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Very well. Of course.
And now they can't build air
Waiting
units.
orders.
That's pretty much got to be GG, I think.
Waiting orders.
The AI was, I mean, they were bunker AI. They had a huge amount of Teslas. Granted, like, I started with a lot of extra starting cash, which isn't probably the default for most games, but it was relatively easy to break through. Nothing super surprising,
Insufficient funds.
but it was fun. Definitely fun. Earlier games were pretty cool to check out. Like the sort of 3v3, the 2v3. To check out the Soviets, which we did. We checked out the Allies. It was pretty fun. We got to see pretty much all of the unit models, structures, and how the AI tends to build out, as well as the
Yes, sir. Agreed.
enemy AI and how they tend to build against you. They do seem to not be passive, so they do come out and attack you a good bit,
Vehicle reporting.
which is also good. That's how it should be.
Waiting orders.
But yeah, all in all, pretty fun mod.
Insufficient funds.
We seem to have got access to the full map now. Must have picked up a crate or
Waiting
something.
orders. At once. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
But yeah, there's a lot of maps built into the mod as well. As I say, they're mostly maxing out at the size of 6. I'm not sure if that's an Ori 3 restriction, or if that's to try and stay true potentially to the original multiplayer. I know that the Ori remaster has access to 8-player maps, so I'm not sure if that's something that's possible
Ready and waiting.
for this mod, but even on just 6 players I can see it being a lot of fun. It's important to remember that the older Ori games are restricted in terms of their super weapon abilities and unit compositions, but with the addition of aftermath units like chrono tanks, mad tanks, you got to see some of the Nikita subs. It's still pretty interesting to see different combinations and how they'll all play out. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. So that was us beating the hard turkey turtle AI. But I think that's pretty much going to do it for us. So a reminder that the Red Alert modification, you can download it on ModDB. I'll be sure to keep a link below down in the description. I'll also be sure to keep links to CNC Online if you want to do online multiplayer for this. You should still be able to, as far as I'm aware. I didn't see anything suggesting otherwise. But you can go in here. You need to have your details for CNC Online to be able to use that. And yeah, you should be good to go. In terms of any other details, I'll be sure to leave it all down in the video description. If you have any questions or concerns or any of that good stuff, feel free to ask below in the comments, and enjoy the rest of the Red Alert Anniversary event, and I'll see you folks around. Take it easy, guys. All the best.